fruit of the Spirit is the foundation of every ministry. The best people that can help people in the church, it's not the prophet, but it's the people in the church. Most of the sins that you are doing and all things that you are doing which are wrong, you did not learn them from prophet, you are learning them from your friends that you are hooking up with in the church. Do you know some of the contaminations that you have today? They came from the words of your brother and sister in the church. A man of God needs the fruit of the Spirit, and you need the fruit of the Spirit. But when we are full of Christians that gossip each other, that attack each other, that are fornicating, that are into adultery, that are into many things, the church will not grow. Because people come to church, now hear me, not by just observing the prophet, but by observing the products of his ministry. There are some wearing sheep clothing but are ravenous wolves. Now look at me. Do you know that there are things that I cannot discuss with you, and there are things that I can discuss with you? Do you know right now, all right, let me start from there. There are things which I tell pastors that they cannot do, which I have learned with the time. Do you know that right now, if I come here, and start talking bad about another man of God, because I'm not at your level, you will run to that man. Because it's a law. Because you'll be saying, why is he talking about him? Maybe he's a threat to him. Maybe he's afraid of something. Then it pushes you to run to him. But if another believer talks to you at your level, you will listen, but not me, because I am a shepherd and you are a sheep. Where am I trying to come? Where am I trying to come to? The best people that can help people in the church is not the prophet, but is the people in the church. If you want to help each other here, if you want this church to have faithful people, God-loving people, there must be a certain group that must have that character, and they move inside and infiltrate and influence others. Then people will be like that. Do you know, even if I'm to preach here and sweat, if they rise as a ravenous wolf, they can contaminate the church, because people that you are seated to have more power to your heart than the man who is your spiritual father. They can contaminate you easily. Why? Because they contaminate you at a sheep level, at a sheep clothing level. And they devour you like a ravenous wolf. Most of the sins that you are doing and all things that you are doing which are wrong, you did not learn them from prophet, you are learning them from your friends that you are hooking up with in the church. Even if you see a person starting to steal money, it's not a prophet who teaches him, it is someone in the church who gives them that guts. That we did it. No case came upon our lives. You can also do it. Don't be lied unto these things. What case? They are also taking, so we can also take. And you start to talk to each other like that. And it makes sense now. Because it's coming from your peer. It's coming from your level. Do you know some of the contaminations that you have today? They came from the words of your brother and sister in the church. Because we are not at the same level. best person the devil will use is not the prophet. It is someone seated next to him. Because those are the ones that can tell you, do you know we are in ego life, but we also here and there go to traditional healers secretly, and the prophet does not catch us. Yet he calls himself a prophet. Prophet. What is that prophecy that me, I have gone 5 times, but he has never caught me? You can also go. But yet you forget that you are not supposed to be afraid of prophet, but you are supposed to be afraid of God, who watches you from above. It's not about me, because when you are in hell, I won't be there with you. You will be alone. So my seeing you or prophesying you does not help you anything when you are living in sin. Say, my Lord, lift you and say, my Lord, teach me to be a good sheep, to have good fruit. In Jesus' name. You must take years to develop character, because character is the fruit of the Spirit. What we call character, that this Christian is a character, is character. It is a man who has developed the fruit of the Spirit over a long period of time. A sheep and a shepherd, they don't behave the same. Sheep listens to sheep. That's why I can't gossip another man of God with a child, because it doesn't work. Once you are a leader, you are now at a certain level, you don't gossip a person who is at your level with someone below you. Once you are a deacon, if you gossip someone who is not a deacon, the information will go to that person, because anyone below your level cannot contain any information from you. Anyone not at your level cannot contain information from you. It will always come and find its way back to that person who is at you. That's why deacons must befriend deacons, and elders must befriend deacons. Don't befriend people that are below your level in the church. Elders to elders, deacons to deacons, pastors to pastors, overseers to overseers. Because it's dangerous. Once you see a leader befriending a person who, I'm talking of befriending. I'm not talking of fellowshipping. There is what we call befriending, where you are now at the same level. You are killing that person, because they are not entitled to receive information that you are receiving. They don't have the privilege of knowing what you know. And you can kill them when you connect to them at that level. That's why we don't want to mention names even of men of God in our church or on our testimonies. Because even if we mention something and I mention a TV channel and I say it's a false channel, it's of a false prophet, all of you today after service, you go and look for that channel. Because you are sheep. Because what your shepherd says is power to make you to go and want to see if it really is a false channel. So sheep behave in a different way than shepherds, but all of us, we need the fruit of the Spirit. Hello? A man of God needs the fruit of the Spirit, and you need the fruit of the Spirit. You need to have love. Because now, why am I teaching this message? Because to tell you the truth, I can do crusades, I can do everything. But people who chuck out people from the church, it's not the Father, but it's you. Your behavior, your character is the one that chucks out people from the church. Ravenous wolves inside. That's why we were at an AGM. We now have got leaders. Leaders are coming in. So the leaders must develop fruit of the Spirit. Because the prophet can be working, and you, because you lack fruit, you'll be busy destroying people. And I'm doing crusades, I'm doing everything, but the church is not growing. Why? Because you now have got barren sheep that have turned into goats. It's not me who must win sheep and give birth to sheep. Sheep must be taught by the shepherd, and then you go and you begot sheep. Sheep beget sheep. Who must make Eagle Life to grow? It is you, but you can only make Eagle Life to grow when you have character. But when we are full of Christians that gossip each other, that attack each other, that are fornicating, that are into adultery, that are into many things, the church will not grow. Because people come to church, now hear me, not by just observing the prophet, but by observing the products of his ministry. Do you know, when we grew up, there were churches that I would say, I will never go to that church. Why? Because the ladies there, they take people's husbands. Even, do you know that even if there are 3 doing that, people will say the whole church, all ladies are like that. Don't go to that church. Do you know that even one girl who is a prostitute, who black label the whole family? The whole family will be painted black because of one girl. You will hear people saying, don't marry there because the girls are prostitutes. It's one. So one eagle that is behaving like a chicken will make us to be chickens. You are very, very important to the growth of this church. Your character must be sorted. You have to sort out your character if we are to go somewhere. You have to pray for your character. You have to fast for your character. Because your character is chucking out people. Your character is driving other people away. Because they see what you do. Do you know that there are things that I don't know about you, which everyone knows? If I take this young man here, can you come? And I say this young man is a powerful Christian and what, and talk. I'm talking at a shepherd's level. But the sheep, they know him very well. Why? Can I explain? Stand there. Because when you are a shepherd, what you do is you come with the sheep. Come, Eagle Life. This is green pasture. Can you graze? And the shepherd goes and sits on a rock. Even in the rural area. Nowadays, there are now 4 cell phones, they will be on WhatsApp. Or the Arguruka, Chiwep, or something. But here, the sheep, they are grazing together. And the shepherd is there. So sheep know each other. Because they graze together. Whilst the shepherd is away. And the sheep, do you know naughty people in this church? Naughty leaders, you know them. You know each other because you graze in Bulawayo in town together. Me, I will be in prayer. I will be reading my Bible. You meet in the street, in 5th Street. Oh, look. How are you, Eagle? Eagle. And you are meeting and you are fellowshipping in your houses. Me, I am in my house. And with my wife doing church business. You are doing sheep business. But in sheep business, there are some wearing sheep clothing but are ravenous wolves. Are you not a ravenous wolf? There are many people who know this young man more than I know him. If I want to know who Yakani is, just call the people he grazes with. You don't call the shepherd. You can sit. I always give an example that I always give, which I think is a very, very good example. I think I've given it several times, of a cow in our rural area in Murewa where I grew up, which was called the Spirit. It was a black cow. And my brother loved the Spirit too much. Because that cow was an oxen. It was a powerful oxen that would pull the plow. And sometimes he would call Spirit at home. I know it, I have the picture, even when I was a young man. And he would be feeding Spirit with the cobs of maize. And he would bring it in the house and wash Spirit. It was my first time to see a man washing a cow. He would be removing all things, what do you call, the ticks that are inside. He loved that cow. But we had one problem every day, not some days, every day. When we would go to the kraal, we would see all cows are outside. And they are grazing other people's fields. Sometimes we would be awoken by neighbors screaming, your cows are in someone's field. 4 a.m. and would go and see all cows are outside. And we put them in. Until one man who used to be those ones who put medicine, those chemicals in cow dips. So sometimes he would come around 2 a.m. from wherever. I still remember he was working in a place called Dandaro in Murewa there. So he would pass by our kraal. That was his road to his house. He came and said, do you know there is a cow around 2 a.m. that goes all other cows outside, and it's a black one. So my brother never suspected it was his closest spirit. The one that he loved, that he would feed and remove ticks. You have leaders sometimes that are close to you, and people like that come to you. They have access to cobs of maize which others don't have. And you don't even know. You come to church, you see some people are no longer coming to church. And you still continue feeding them. And you don't know what is happening. So my brother decided that at 2 a.m. we must be hiding somewhere. So we woke up 1:30, we went to the kraal and hid in the grass to check. And when it was around 2, the cow knew its time. 2! We saw one cow jumping out of the kraal. And we checked closely. And we saw it was a spirit. It was going all other cows. Until it comes, and it would persist until the other cow feels pain and it jumps out of the kraal. And it would go one after another. one by one until it remains inside. So my brother thought that the spirit was the most disciplined cow, because you would see spirit in the crow. Others are now grazing in other people's fields. Yet it is a spirit that is going other cows and sending them to other fields, but the spirit remains in the crow. And the shepherd thinks that the spirit is good.